Hey guys, Captain here, bringing you the next set of creations from the Captain's Challenge. These are days 26 through 50. I'm sure some of you thought I just gave up or, lost the challenge. But no, I did not. I've been keeping up with it. So the first one is probably one of the lamest creations I've made for this whole challenge. It's a vial of red potion, but you can actually take a drink from this thing. It's pretty cool. But it tastes kind of nasty, so, might not really want to. Of course, you can't actually drink from it. I just swapped out the top. But, that's day 26. Day 27, I just felt like making a kind of absurd hot rod car. And so I made this, and I think it turned out kind of cool. I wish the back was a little nicer, not too crazy about these studs here. But overall, I think it looks nice. It's got a decent cabin. And then I've done like an engine type thing like this before, but I never actually used black legs. I used those pieces that, they bend. Let me see if I have one right by me. Maybe I can. Kind of like this. Except I used the ones that are 2x1 instead of 2x2. And then I put some cylinder pieces on it. Day 28 is one of these little robots. I don't know, just kind of made it as I went along. And for the legs, you'll notice it's actually not bent a little forward. The legs are bent into here, so they're bent backwards right now. So it can't actually bend more backwards. But I think it kind of looks cool in its own way. And that's that, I guess. Day 29, I made a little scene. This is supposed to be a detective looking on a dead body that's covered. So I used a hood backwards and a cape. And then you see on the ground there's like a gun that's evidence, and some of these red tiles that's supposed to be blood. Some of these white pieces are a little dirty, but overall I think this is still pretty cool. In reality, it's actually just a minifigure sort of lying down. You'll notice his legs are like this, so that they press into the studs. But that's how I did that. And the magnifying glass, unfortunately, is cracked. I don't think I have another one of these either, but I wish I did. Unless it's just somewhere that I haven't seen it. This next one is another robot. It's on wheels. It's got a couple arms. This head that spins around with with binoculars. And it was kind of inspired by that little robot you can control in Battlefield 3, if any of you play that. I don't, but I like to watch Burgerville's videos. So for me, I see this and I just think, I'm Manuel, I fix you. This next one's another scene. It is a spy or some sort of assassin, whatever you want to think, trying to climb up the rocks, break in somewhere. He's got a grapple gun here. And this machine gun, which is actually made from a key piece. If you remove this little, I'll take it out of his hands. Remove his hands and the claw, it's a key. So, wanted to try that out, making a gun like that. I think it turned out pretty cool. The ending grip is still a little weird, but whatever. And then he's just stuck into two of these pieces on the wall, 2 Erling bricks. This next one might be one of the coolest creations I've ever done, in my opinion. I wanted to do something just out of glowing green pieces, and then I realized that that's not really going to work out, so I should go with glowing green and also black. And this is falling off. The antenna's not too stable, but the arms actually have a decent range of motion. There's 2 joints on both of those, and this one I think moves a little better. Because I limited myself only to glowing green and black pieces, I think I got to make some unique choices. Like you'll notice here, this is actually a camera piece. And then he's got the glowing green spider on his chest. And then for the legs, these are actually car door pieces. And, some of my favorite parts usage I've ever done on here. So that's that. Next creation is, I think, the smallest I've done for this entire challenge. Oops, it is right here. Going with red, using car doors again. And I don't know, when I built this, I was wondering what I should add to it, but I kind of felt that it just looked complete like this. It, in my opinion, it really slightly resembles a Republic gunship from Star Wars, but not all that much. If its wings are like this, kind of a little bit, but again, not that much. I had a bunch of red pieces, and you'll notice I have more red creations in the rest of this challenge, but I just wanted to kind of do stuff with them. This next one is another design, kind of like how I did the aperture in, I don't know, somewhere around like day 15, I think. Might have been like 13, 14. I had a ton of spear pieces. I wanted to do something with them. So I made this, and it feels a little bit flimsy, but it actually holds up pretty well, and I think it looks kind of cool. It's kind of a bit of a spiderweb look, mostly because of these big round pieces on top. Next one is a little guy skiing. Again, I had a lot of spear pieces that I wanted to do something with, and I kind of wanted to make a spider crawler, which actually a few days later I did. But that wasn't working out with this, and I thought to myself, I didn't have the top part of his body, and I thought to myself, this actually kind of could look like something else. It could look like a guy skiing. So I added some simple arms and a little bit of a face, and I think it turned out nicely. It's a cute little creation. This next one is a wall of gears. It doesn't really serve any profound purpose or anything. I mean, it's just gears turning, but I think it's something cool that I could have just sitting on my desk and play with it from time to time. After that, I made this thing, which is actually a larger version of a creation I made from the first 25 days. Have that right over here. So I think that turned out pretty cool. I started making a bunch of Technic stuff. When I was toying around with the gears, I pulled out those pieces. In fact, the next 2 days were Technic creations. So the gun's a bit oversized, mostly because of the back, but I managed to balance it out so it's pretty much to scale. And I think it turned out kind of cool. The next day, which should be day 38, I think, is this kind of bike thing with this on top. I don't know, it doesn't really have any name that I came up with it. It's just, I guess, demon bike if I had to come up with a name. This is a Rakshi mask, and these 2 skulls are from Onua, from the first set of Bionicles. The next thing might be one of the coolest creations I've ever done, I think. Probably the coolest thing I've ever done in Technic. And this is like a spider walker, except if you turn the gears, these actually move. Now, the way this is currently built is this doesn't really work because you'll notice all of the legs move the same way. But if I wanted, I could use the same idea, just make it, with some more gears so that they do actually, work together to move forward or something. But I think this turned out really nicely. One of my favorite creations ever. This one, I saw this red scorpion piece and I decided I wanted to do something with it, so I made the scorpion cannon. As I mentioned earlier, I had a bunch of red pieces that I wanted to just do stuff with, and so it gave me an opportunity to, again, use some unique pieces. In fact, in here, this is actually a cup for minifigures to, drink out of. It's attached like such, and covered up here. And I think the scorpion cannon actually looks really cool. Out of all the weapons I've, made over the years, one of my favorites. This next one is not really a scene, but made this little guy who's supposed to go along these grappling hook lines, because there have been a few sets where there were grappling hooks and they came with string. This string was not the same Lego string. This is just regular black string. But as you can see, he can go up it, kind of like a ski lift. So that's that. The next thing, another red creation, and for this one, I wanted to make it look a little bit silly. It's got the very big bulky body, and then just the small little minifigure legs. Kind of based off of football players, Sometimes I think it's a little funny how football players look with all that, shoulder padding and as I like to think of it, body armor, and then, just in comparison to the rest of their body. The next thing is an altar with these steps, which I think turned out really nicely. It's just a bunch of these pieces attached on top of each other, and there are 2 candles lit on the altar. Next is rock candy, almost literally, because these are actually rock pieces. If you open it up, there's stuff inside, some Lego coins and gems. I got the idea from Christmas crackers. Maybe if you're British or you watch Ashens, or if you've ever played RuneScape, then you probably know what those are. But basically, you just open up and there's some little goodies inside. It wouldn't be the Captain's Challenge if I didn't do any Pokemon. So here's one Pokemon. It's a Shiftry. It turned out a little awkwardly in some spots, but I think I still captured a lot of the important details. I've got the little leaf hands, the brown body, the nose sticking out here, and then the hair, generally looks how it should. I was having a lot of trouble with this one actually, but it turned out alright. This next one I wanted to make like 10 days before I actually finished it. I just couldn't find the right pieces I wanted, and it is a flower bed. These 2 flowers are just Technic rods, and this one was an actual flower piece. Pretty simple in the end, but again, I just couldn't find the pieces I really wanted. Next, kind of going off the vein of the Scorpion Cannon, I wanted to use a gray parrot for something. So I made this weapon, which is kind of based off the Spartan laser if you've ever played Halo. And, shoots this big laser beam out here. There's a grip here. These pieces are actually attached like such to this, because the studs are just barely offset, so if I want to put it on like this, it doesn't really want to click. But when I put it on like this, it fits just fine. So there we go. Another weapon I really like, actually. This, I don't really know where I was going with it. It's just kind of a fantasy ship now. I don't know if I'd consider it a starship or some kind of fantasy, water ship. But there we go. This propeller doesn't spin. I kind of wish it did. But ah well. And there we go. Then for day 49, I made this little statue of a runner. And it's a little bit flimsy, really lanky, but I think it turned out cool. This is supposed to be eyes right here with this. These arms rotate, but I used little hands here to kind of stick it in place. This doesn't really want to move when these are blocking the range of motion. And these legs were from some rocket ship set, I think. I think the way they worked is they held the shuttle in place. And I've always wanted to find cool uses for them, but I had a lot of trouble actually finding some. And this turned out pretty nicely, because it looks kind of like bent knees. And then finally, for day 50, we have another Pokemon. This is Houndoom. Some of the details didn't turn out as well as I hoped, but for the most part, it did turn out really nicely. I got the red muzzle, the white horns, big black tail going. I got its little skull necklace. I got the silver bands or whatever they are on its back. The legs I'd have liked to do better, but for how I was designing these, I think they turned out as best as they could have. And there we go. So Houndoom, not the best Pokemon I've made, but definitely not the worst either. And that's that then for days 26 through 50. I should have days 51 through 75 hopefully up on the day where they're due, because after that I probably won't have too much time to be working on them. But again, I should be on schedule with that, I think. So if you liked this video, please rate, comment, subscribe, send this to your friends, check out my other ones, and I will see you guys next time. Also, if you guys really want, I might do like the little day-by-day videos of each of these creations, like how I did for days 1 through 25. If you want me to, I guess you could let me know in the comments. Maybe I'll just do it for some of my favorites, like, you know, the highlights, like maybe the walker kind of thing, or like the Pokemon, or my weapons, something like that. And just leave out some of the lame ones, like the vial, or like the rock candy or something, I don't know. So anyway, I guess that's about it then. I've rambled long enough. It's a pretty lengthy video now. And I will see you guys soon.